my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm Caro Herrera, and today I'm going to be reviewing a book and a movie based on the life of Coco Chanel. The book I'm going to be talking about is a historical fiction novel called Mademoiselle Chanel by C.W. Gortner, which was published in 2015. And the film I'll be reviewing is called Coco Before Chanel. It was released in 2009, and it was directed by Anne Fontaine, starring Audrey Tautou, Alessandro Nivola, and Benoit Polvodor. I'd like to point out, though, that the movie is not an adaptation of the book, or that book is not a novelization of the movie. I'm just reviewing them together because they're the only book and movie that I've ever seen and read about Coco Chanel. Before I begin, though, I'd just like to mention that I won't be giving any major spoilers about what happened to Chanel during her lifetime, but it's a historical figure, so it's not like top secret what she did. So unless you don't want to know anything about her, beware watching this video. Okay, so I think Chanel's clothing and jewelry and perfumes, they're just fantastic. Despite the fact that I've never been that much into fashion, being more of a bookworm, I do love to dress up. So in a way, my interest for Coco Chanel started from my love of dressing up, of history, of reading, of France, and of movies. Because when I was in my late teens, a movie came out, and I love period dramas, as well as romantic films and portrayals of really strong, powerful women, and that movie has all of these things. So it just captivated me, and I still to this day really love the movie Coco Before Chanel. And the way that they portrayed that film, her relationship with Etienne Balsan and Boy Arthur Capel, it's just really beautiful. Anyway, the movie came out some years after La Vie en Rose, based on the life of Edith Piaf. So I've always associated Coco Chanel and Edith Piaf together as this strong, powerful French iconic figures of the 20th century. So yeah, for a while now I've been interested in reading a novel about her life, and so rather than reading a biography, I decided to read a historical fiction book on her because I'd already read The Roman of Empress by C.W. Gortner, which I really enjoyed. So I thought, why not read about Coco Chanel through the eyes of this author? He'll be my perfect introduction to Chanel. The book details the life of Coco Chanel, from her childhood at a convent school to her many affairs with different men, how she began designing clothes, and how she became so popular. We also get to see that what she was doing during World War I, the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, and World War II. We do get to see what she did after World War II, right until her death as well, though not in much detail. As to the movie, it deals with Coco's early years, so it ends around the time she moves to Paris to start working, and it focuses a lot on her affairs with two friends, Etienne Balsan, this rich nobleman, and Boy Arthur Capel, the love of her life. But yeah, in both cases we get to see what Coco's personality was like and how her interest in clothes began. She didn't like the Edwardian fashion and preferred more simple, elegant, and comfortable clothing. At first, no one really thought her particular style would work because she was dressing up like a man at times. But she was born with an intuition of what women wanted, and so it's no wonder she became a legend, and her empire still lives on to this day, decades after her death. I'll give the movie a 5 out of 5 stars review because to this day I really love it. Even if it's not its perfect, ambitious portrayal of Coco Chanel's early years, it's just a really nostalgic movie for me because I watched it when I was in my teenage years and I've never stopped loving it. I love everything about it, the settings, the clothing, the dialogue, the performances, the soundtrack, the cinematography, and I think it's a very soothing movie because it takes place in the countryside and everything revolves around the castle in which everyone's living, and yet we have this really strong female protagonist leading the movie on, even though I find it soothing, so that's an interesting sharp contrast. And I do like to see Coco in a more romantic side, her more vulnerable aspect as she falls for Arthur Boy Capel. And as to the book, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars review. I really enjoyed it, but I prefer the movie definitely. But I mean, it was well written and researched, even though I felt that they didn't really go into that much detail about certain aspects of Coco's life. For example, it only gives us like 3 scenes with conversation exchanges between Coco and a man that she almost married. We don't really get to meet this man and see why he was special, or to build this connection with him before he disappears from the scene for a specific reason. When this happens, I couldn't care less if he's in the book or not. But yeah, what really drew me to the book was that I got to see what Coco did after the events of Coco after Chanel, how she became the Coco Chanel we all have heard about, and we get a lot more detail as to what was her precise role in World War II and why was she accused of being a Nazi sympathizer. But like the highlight for me was learning that she was inspired to make Coco No. 5, that perfume, based on one that the last Empress of Russia, Tsarina Alexandra, used to love putting on. Like, I really want that perfume now just because it will sort of hold an echo of the way Tsarina Alexandra smelled. Oh, and another thing that I really liked is that this book is set in Paris. I love Paris. And we get to see Paris through World War One, the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, World War Two. We meet up with people like Jean Cocteau, Ernest Hemingway. But yeah, for the moment I believe that this is all I have to say about this book and movie based on Coco Chanel's lives. If I ever read more or watch more movies about her, I'll probably review them. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video or not. Thank you so much for watching it. And I'd love to hear what you think about this designer, her life, the book, the movie, anything that's relevant. And in the description box below you can find a link to the book's Goodreads page as well as a link to the movie's IMDb page. But yeah, I'm Caro Herrera, the Mental Traveler, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you're in the world. I'll be seeing you soon. Take care and goodbye.